This is gonna be a bit of a rant, but a much needed rant. Some Pokemon are just better than the others. Sometimes way better, which is perfectly natural. In a game where you're using many characters or playing as many characters, it just makes sense that some are gonna be better than the others. But sometimes those characters are overpowered or broken on purpose. And I feel like in the last two generations, 8 and 9, when it came to the DLC, they really made sure they made some broken fucking Pokemon. And they obviously did so because the Pokemon were the selling point of those DLCs, since they absolutely sucked and the developers know that they sucked. So made sure the Pokemon were gonna get used. They were so good, people just had to pay for their overpriced DLC. And I don't like that. It's very frustrating because they've made choices for literally no reason. And it's basically like these Pokemon are pay to win. So let's dive right into the bullshit and talk about them.
He's just making this video because he's been getting his ass beat.
Oh, like you could do better, Ricky. Just shut up.
Heh, maybe you'd actually win if you used the broken Pokemon. But no, you just have to be different.
Yeah, Ricky. Sorry I ain't boring. Anyways, moving on. So the first Pokemon I want to talk about is this Matcha Gotcha bitch right here. And I can never remember this thing's fucking name because I just know it as Matcha Gotcha. I'm sure you all know why, but Sinistra. They basically took Poltegeist, said, fuck you, we're making a better version of you. And it's gonna be Matcha. The main problems with this Pokemon, right? Hospitality. It has an ability that partially restores an ally's HP when it enters a battle. So number one, this Pokemon from the get-go is built for the VGC, the Video Game Championships. And it can heal your partner on switching. And then its stats, alright, high special attack, high defense, you know, decent special defense. You can build it that way if you want. Heavy in the defenses and then special attack. But the big bullshit, broken shit about this thing is its moves. Not only does it get a bunch of utility, like Life Dew, Rage Powder, which redirects opponents' attacks if they're not grass types. Things like Foul Play, which I didn't even know it learned. Trick Room, but it's this move right here. Matcha Gotcha. Its signature move. It's a move that's base 80 power. It hits both opponents every time, and any damage the user does, they restore half of the HP. So you can hit both of the opponent's team and get healed twice. But not only that, it's throwing hot matcha tea at the opponent, right? So it only makes sense, right? It can burn you. It has a 20%, not 10% chance. It has a 20% chance to burn. That shit burns a lot. Granted, yes, it does have a 90% accuracy. You're almost guaranteed to hit at least one of the opponent's Pokemon with this move. That's broken, like for no reason. There's no reason why this one move does all of this. There's absolutely no reason besides the fact they wanted it to be utilized in double battles, which is VGC. There's literally no reason like for this to burn. If it can burn, it should have a 10% chance to burn, not 20, because it hits both opponents, and it has no reason to restore HP. It literally has zero reason, you know? And the power is 80. 80, like, combined with this thing's high special attack stat, that can do a decent amount of damage, especially if you invest in it and have a special attack nature. It could do a lot. And honestly, it does way too much. You see this thing fucking everywhere. I've used it, yes, I have used it in Champions. I never got the DLC for Scarlet Violet, so I couldn't use it before. But yes, I've used it on teams because it just fits. Like, it's just good. I hate that shit, man. Like, why? Why? Matcha Gotcha. That's all I know this Pokemon as. Also because the naming is like opposite of Poltegeist and stuff, and I get that all fucked up. So Matcha Gotcha has gotta go or be nerfed in some sort of way. This is too much. It does too much. Too much for one Pokemon to do. Next, I want to talk about Archaludon. In the Scarlet and Violet DLC, the added evolution of Duraludon. This thing's base stats 600, which Duraludon honestly did not need an evolution. I think that's a little weird. If they were going to make new megas, they should have just waited and made a mega Duraludon, because this thing's stats are already high. It's 535. That's like equal with I think some starters. The starters are around that. So yeah, like he was already good. So his evolution actually counts as a pseudo legendary because its base stat is 600. But I personally don't count it because it was a pay to win DLC Pokemon. So basically, what this thing did was just take Duraludon and make it better, and that's all this thing did. Because Duraludon has light metal and heavy metal, right? And then Stalwart, which is Duraludon's special ability. I don't believe anyone else gets it. Yeah, no. And by the way, I'm using a website called Pokemon Database. It doesn't have as much information as the other websites, but it looks really clean, and I like it. But Stalwart, which ignores moves and abilities that draw in moves, which is perfect. It ignores Rage Powder and ignores Follow Me, two moves that try to pull, redirect moves into the Pokemon. And you can just ignore that with this Pokemon, which honestly is a crazy ability. So Archaludon still gets that, but then they just made the other two abilities better. They gave it Stamina, which was Mudsdale's signature ability, and they gave it Sturdy, which is a built-in Focus Sash. Not only is this thing's defense base 130, right? Its special attack is also super high, and HP. Special defense not, right? So that's where you gotta hit this thing. I didn't know his attack was that high. That's some pretty decent attack too. But it's fucking Steel Dragon type. It's only weak to fighting ground. Like this thing could be a huge wall. Huge wall. And have I had a lot of problems with Archaludon? Not really. Like I always find a way to play around it most of the time. But this thing, man, I see it too much. It's that good. People just keep fucking using it. And the worst thing about this Pokemon is its signature move as well. Electro Shot. Base power 130. It is a electric type Solar Beam. Solar Beam takes 2 turns. Very powerful grass type move, but it takes 1 turn in the sun and becomes weakened in the other weathers. This move, no. This move, right? Not only on the first turn or when you use it, it raises the special attack stat for absolutely no reason. There's no reason why this should happen. The only reason I can think of is the fact that it's not stab on Archaludon because he's not an electric type. I don't even know why they made it electric. That's the only reason I can think of. But still, this thing's special attack is base 125. You don't need to give it a special attack boost. That just makes it fucking annoying. And it's not even like it happens on just the first turn where you're charging it up, because it could happen in 1 turn during the rain. During the rain, it executes in 1 turn. So it's like Solar Beam, except this move doesn't get weakened in harsh sunlight or sandstorm. No, it stays the same amount of damage and still raises your special attack every time you use it. And it's very easy to set up, because all you gotta do is lead with a Politoed or a Pelipper, bring him in, or with a Prankster Rain Dance, and there you go, you got the rain. And if you combine this move with its ability Stalwart, you can ignore abilities like Lightning Rod. Like Lightning Rod will just not work. Which means even like Pokemon like, I keep saying like a lot, like Mega Sceptile, which I've been using, if they have Stalwart, which most of the time they don't, they have Stamina. I'm not too worried about it most of the time, but they can have Stalwart, which will ignore my ability. But goddamn, man. Like, can we stop? This does not need to happen. We do not need to raise a special attack. Just take that away. Take that away. And this thing is 20 points more powerful. Not 20, 10 points more powerful than Solar Beam. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Why? Why is it like this? There's no reason. This move puts on too much pressure. Too much. No reason for it to be like this. We need to weaken it in the other weathers like Solar Beam and get rid of this Resi attack. You want to keep it 130? Fine. Keep it 130, but I would make it 120 and make it PP 5 because it's just fucking Solar Beam for electric types. Except electric type can't learn it, thankfully, for now. Alright, next I want to talk about Ursaluna. But not Ursaluna, not the regular Ursaluna. I love Ursaluna personally. I think it was really cool that Ursaring got an evolution. I used Ursaluna on my team right away. And Ursaluna is a really great Pokemon. But I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Which is a cool idea. But it was not introduced in Legends Arceus, which is a whole game, so you're not just paying for the Pokemon in that game, you're getting a whole experience, right? This is from a DLC, and it's a standalone Pokemon, nothing evolves into it. Still ground normal type, but its stats switch. It becomes a special attacker. But for some reason too, this thing gains 5 more points total. I don't know why. You know? Yes, its HP went down, but its defense increased, and its special defense also went down, which I didn't notice, and it got a tiny bit faster. So it can outspeed other Ursalunas normally without Trick Room. And yes, this Pokemon, we haven't seen it in Champions yet, and it was really good, especially with Terra, because you could just change your type into something else, and this thing does a lot of damage. I know Dragon, I used this thing with Dragon type on Showdown before. Yeah, it was just really good. Or you could double dip the normal. Its ability is Mind's Eye, which is a unique ability. And what it does is it ignores the opponent's evasiveness. Right? Okay, so every move of this Pokemon hits all the time. Its accuracy can't be lowered. You cannot lower this Pokemon's accuracy. And it can hit Ghost types with normal type and fighting type moves. So it's scrappy. So it has scrappy along with this extra shit where it hits everything and you can't decrease its accuracy. Like, what the actual fuck? Why? It does, that ability does way too much. Way too much. Like, why? Like, I just don't, the only reason is to make it viable. Of course, this thing is a special attacker now, so it can't make use of things like Earthquake or Headlong Rush. This thing gets its own signature move called Bloodmoon. It's a cool looking move, but it's its own Hyper Beam. It's Hyper Beam. It's Hyper Beam. It's Hyper Beam, except it's 10 points less powerful and never misses, because Hyper Beam has a chance to miss. This move never fucking misses. And it's not that you can't move the next turn. No. It's not that you can't move. You just can't select the move next turn. You can still use other moves, but you can't select this move. They gave this thing a way better Hyper Beam. The actual fuck is that? And it's bulky enough, it can live a move. And just bop, you're dead. Or in the Trick Room team, you're fucking dead. This thing also learns Hyper Voice, which hits both opponents. And you can hit Hyper Voice and Bloodmoon, because Bloodmoon's a normal type move. You can hit Ghost types, so you can't even switch in a Ghost type into this thing. What the actual fuck are we doing? How can you give this thing that, but regular Ursaluna don't got any of that shit? Because it's a regular Pokemon, man. This shit is fucking pay to win broken. I'm tired, man. Like, come on. Oh my god, it's terrible. Is it really good? Yeah, but it's fucking terrible. Ugh. And now I just want to mention Ogerpon. Like, this was like the mythical Pokemon for the first Scarlet and Violet DLC. I don't know how good Terapagos was, which is the second mythical for the second DLC, because they had 2 of them. He didn't seem too good without using Terra. And this thing also got something special when using Terra. Because in Terra, right, his ability Embody Aspect, which is his own ability. Depending on the different masks you have, because you can put different masks on this guy, and it makes him grass, and then have a secondary type, grass fire, grass water, grass rock. And not only does his type change, but his signature move also changes. Ivy Cudgel. And yeah, depending on which mask he's wearing, the type change. Sorry. The type changes. But here's the kicker. This thing has a high crit ratio. Its type changes, and it does a lot of damage, and has a increased crit rate. his ability in Scarlet and Violet, when you terrestrialize, your stat increases depending on which mask you use. Teal is speed. Well, the water one is special defense, attack for the fire one, and then defense for the rock one. His basic abilities are really good. Defiant, Water Absorb, Mold Breaker, Sturdy, those are just really good by themselves. But I don't think this thing's going to be as powerful in Champions until Terrestrialization is added, which I don't think they'll add Ogerpon until Terrestrialization is a thing. So he's probably still going to be pretty damn broken. Now this is a huge one. Urshifu. This thing was the mythical of the Isle of Armor DLC in Sword and Shield, which was the first DLC. This was like the mythical, yeah, I said that. This guy has 2 forms, number 1, right? Okay. Fighting Dark, Fighting Water, not the best type combinations out there. High attack, pretty good speed, good defense and HP. This ability right here, Unseen Fist. Contact moves can strike through Protect and Detect. So if you protect your Pokemon, he hits you, right? And it used to be at full power, but recently in Champions, I believe they nerfed Unseen Fist because they gave it to Mega Golurk, which I did a video with. They gave Mega Golurk this ability, but with it, I think it's only 25% of the move's damage goes through. I think that's the number. Okay, no, it doesn't. So I don't know. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, it only does like 25% now, which is better. But here's the problem with Urshifu. It would matter if the Pokemon wasn't Urshifu. So it works on Mega Golurk and nerfs that a bit. Here we go, more signature moves. His signature move, Wicked Blow, right? And Rapid Strike style, or Surging Strikes, right? Wicked Blow always results in a critical hit and ignores stat changes. Thank God it has a PP of 5. Thank goodness. This thing, he always crits. And he ignores your defense boosts. Your defense boosts do not matter to this Pokemon. He just goes right through. Goes right through your Protect. Always gets a crit with its very high attack stat. And its stab move. And ignores your fucking defense boost. How sick is that? And they thought this was a good idea? They thought this would be balanced? I don't think so. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing, and they let it exist for 2 generations. This shit's gross. If this move always results in a crit and ignores stat changes, it should be base 40 power. This thing should not be 75, which is pretty decent. What the fuck? And then the other move, Surging Strikes, base 25 power. Okay, right? That seems better. Except they don't tell you here. It hits multiple times. It hits 3 times. And lands in a crit. Every time. So it hits 3 times. What's 25 times 3? 75. So it's still the same base power as God, as a Wicked Blow. Except it hits 3 times now. Getting a crit each time. And ignores your defense boost. Or any stat changes, but defense is what matters here. What the actual fuck are they smoking, man? And it's stab. And it's stab. Because he becomes a water type. See? So, Wushu. Wushi finger hold? I do think he is based on Po from Kung Fu Panda. I do. But God, man. Holy shit. I couldn't even remember this guy's name because I hate him. Like, he just does not exist in my world. Like, he is just not a Pokemon to me. Look at this thing. Calyrex. Does this thing look like it should be called Calyrex? What the fuck is this? This fugly ass Pokemon. You know, like, this thing, you wouldn't think it could do shit. This was the mythical for the second part of the Sword and Shield DLC. Crown Tundra. This thing's crown, too big, and this thing ain't no king. You know, they call the king Pokemon. What the fuck is this shit? What is this? Why does he have sock monkey legs? Like, what were they thinking with this design? Like, this looks absolutely dog shit. And, you know, okay, 500 stats, okay, Psychic Grass, really not that big of a thing, right? Nah, he doesn't do much, right? He doesn't do much. Okay, no, but here's the thing, right? He can combine with another legendary. 2! Actually, he has his choice of 2 other legendaries. His noble steed, as you call it. And when he combines with this noble steed, now he gains the type of that steed, right? Okay, Ice or Ghost, and his ability is as 1. So he gets Unnerve, which makes you nervous to eat berries, and combines it with the horse's ability, which is Chilling Neigh or Grim Neigh. Grim Neigh boosts special attack after knocking out a Pokemon, right? Okay. And then Chilling Neigh boosts attack after knocking out a Pokemon. So it's Moxie. And look at the stats. They go from 500 to 680. 680, guys. Look at this attack stat and defense stat and special defense stat. And HP. What the fuck is this shit? He has the same stats as a box legendary, as Dialga. Dialga has this. Shallow Rider, special attack through the roof, speed through the roof, and its special defense and HP are still pretty decent along with its defense. What the actual shit? And he has abilities that increase his attack or special attack, and he has a move for both of them. He has a move. Oh my god! Look at it. Oh my god! He learns too much. Look at this shit. Glacial Lance. 5 PP, thankfully, but power 120. The user attacks by hurling icicle lances at the opposing Pokemon, and it hits both of the Pokemon. He's got that fucking move, right? And then the Shadow one, the Shadow Rider, has an Astral Barrage, which is the same thing except special attack, and it hits both of the Pokemon. Like, are you fucking kidding me, man? This thing has an AoE move. Has super high stats, and then if it gets a kill, it increases those stats. Like, I'm just done, man. I'm done. This one puts a ton of pressure on you by being fast, and then this one can be in a Trick Room, but not only Trick Room, he can just survive with his high defenses. He can just fucking survive and kill you. Like, it's gross. This thing is everywhere. And this is the only way they were gonna get anyone to use this thing. Cause what the fuck is this? I'm done, man. Like I'm done with this bullshit. Like, can we stop? I'm sure I'm missing some. I'm sure I'm missing some. You know what? This thing, I think, can even learn Trick Room. Fuck this shit, man. Yeah, it learns Trick Room, so you can set up its own Trick Room. They gotta stop. They gotta stop with this bullshit. Like, their DLC isn't even worth buying. These Pokemon are the only reason people are buying it. The only reason. I watch a guy on YouTube who just buys the DLC, he never completes it. Sometimes he doesn't even complete the game. He just wants to go and catch all the Pokemon and then use them for competitive play. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm done with this. Can we just stop making pay-to-win Pokemon? Can we just stop doing it? And will they stop? No, they won't. They won't stop. Absolutely not. Winds and Waves comes out. Yes, I'm sure there's going to be some really good Pokemon in the main game. There always is. There's always good Pokemon in the main game, but at least I'm buying a game. Somewhat. Pokemon's really bad at making games now, sadly. But I am getting a full experience out of it, you know what I mean? Along with the Pokemon. The DLC gives you fucking nothing. It gives you an area to explore, I guess a tiny little story that you don't give a fuck about, and that's it. Like, it's pointless. This is the point. To make Pokemon like this thing. To make this stupid shit. But I had to let this out, you know? I had to do this rant. Because it's very important. You know, it's very important this happens. I also just don't like, personally, legendaries like this being used in competitive play. I think it gets real fucking boring real quick. You know? I'd rather the legendaries just not be a part of it. Unless, like, you're doing a specific legendary-only competition or something. Like, some legendaries you can use that are, like, you know, not broken. Yeah, so, tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you agree that these are pay-to-win? Or, you know, overpowered broken on purpose is the other way to view it. Which they obviously are. Yeah, do you like it? You know, the fact that they make these broken Pokemon? Or do you want them to stop too? Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear them. I'm very interested in what you have to say. Pokemon as a game in general is just bullshit. It's a bunch of RNG, but don't make it worse, man. Don't make it worse for us. You know? Like, stop. Stop making Pokemon like this. We're just made for VGC, made for doubles, because they want to see these Pokemon used. Because they made them for an extra DLC. They spent extra time to make these Pokemon. Like, stop. You know, can we stop? And a lot of the problem comes with the unique abilities and unique moves that just do too much. They do too much. Dumb it down. Fuck Matcha Gotcha. Fuck Electro Shot. I'm out of here. Peace.